morning. The time is just gone 18 minutes past 8 right here on Salam Media. We're talking about the chaos in Durban, Operation Dudula, taking on the South African Human Rights Commission against what it calls a hindrance in their fight for South Africans to be prioritized. And we're going now to Operation Dudula leader, Zandile Dabula. Zandile, good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning and good morning to the listeners. Thank you so much for having us today.
Yes, this obviously has been a very sticky point. It's been a sore point for a very, very long time. And today, marching to the South African Human Rights Commission is just one of the actions, but there is a lot of history going back, and I know there have been many accusations that have been leveled against your organization, talking about blockading public hospitals, denying healthcare to people and alleged to be undocumented immigrants. Let's just try and unpack some of this, Zandile, and to understand what the real issues are and where Operation Dudula is coming as far as, this whole issue surrounding illegal foreigners is concerned.
So, the main problem here is our porous borders and corrupt people that are leading us in the country. Because you can't have a country which is lawless. Now, everyone that comes into this country needs to have proper documents. Now, what we're seeing here is we're seeing an influx of illegal migrants because our borders are porous. Now, this has a bad effect. Has a bad impact, in our communities and economically as well, because the high unemployment rate is the cause by illegal migrants. It's evident. We've tested it, and we've seen the results that jobs are actually available, but they are just being occupied by the wrong people. We have the laws, immigration laws here. When you're here to work, you need to have your work visa, and you need to know exactly where are you going to work, and it needs to be a scarce skill. But none of that is happening. If you're here to study, you need to have all your proper documents at hand. But that is not happening. I mean, our healthcare facilities, the pressure, it's just too much, even on the workers, on the healthcare workers, because they're seeing, there's a healthcare worker that said to us, I'm seeing 9 patients per day. That's not normal for a human being. They've got families also. By the time they get home, they're tired. They don't even have time for their families. That's so unfair. So, our systems are burdened by the illegal immigrants. I mean, even at schools, you'd know that during January, we normally go to schools to check who are the kids that occupied a desk, because our own South Africans are still in long queues without being accommodated and admitted in those schools. So there's a lot. Look at our cities. Buildings are dilapidating because foreigners are hijacking properties. Yes, I'm not just saying it's only them, but they have now started working with South Africans. But all of these, foreign crimes that we are seeing, the kidnapping and, removal of body parts and it being sold, it's things that they are new here in this country. And I know that someone will say that a crime has no nationality. It's true, but what we are experiencing now since the influx of illegal migrants is just not so on. And we have a president who decides not to say anything about the issue. And I must say that we're sitting on a ticking time bomb that will explode anytime soon, because South Africans are suffering and they are tired of illegal migrants.
Well, Zandile, from what you're saying, obviously there is a lot of merit in what you're saying in terms of particularly when it comes to things like the crimes. And we know for a long time, we have been talking about many of these crimes that we are seeing in South Africa have been imported crimes, like kidnapping, for example, which is now becoming a norm in the country.
Yes,
Is your biggest gripe, and if I hear you correctly, is your biggest gripe the corruption and the breakdown of law and order, and the government not being able to do anything, or lacking the political will, for want of a better term, to do something about illegal immigrants?
yes, that's the better word. There is no political will, because if there were political will, I mean, we have laws that just needs to be enforced. Where are the law enforcers when they need to do so? We have SATS, we have Home Affairs officials. Why are they not doing what they're supposed to be doing? I mean, we have a Minister of Home Affairs who just needs to make sure that the borders are secured. They spent 52 million in the previous financial in just deporting illegal migrants, which is good, but it's not good for us as South Africans, because that's just waste of tax money. You deporting people, yet the gates are still open. It doesn't make sense. Those people probably have came back the next day or just few hours after they've been deported, because borders are just closed. So I don't know if we have politicians that have now become big-headed. They no longer listen to what the citizens want, because the message is clear out there that South Africans are actually enough with how the systems work, especially when it comes to illegal immigration, because it's affecting a whole lot of things. Crime is escalating, unemployment rate, and all that I've mentioned before. Now, they are not addressing this issue at all. They just need to go back to a drawing board if really they are for this country. Go sit down, start enforcing these laws, because they are there. I mean, the Constitution, should be our guiding a document here in this country, but it is misinterpreted. You hear people talking about South Africa belongs to all who lives in it, but nobody goes to the first sentence on the Constitution where it says, "Ask the people of South Africa," and then it goes down and it will keep telling you that South Africa belongs to all who lives in it. And Section 27, like people will always say that everyone has the right to health, education, all of those. But that is not for foreigners. I mean, the Constitution was drafted just after apartheid. It was the inclusion of the excluded ones, your black, colored, Indians. So it was drafted mainly for that. No country will draft a constitution to accommodate illegal migrants in their country. And yes, everyone has the right to health. But when there are also laws that support that. If you are a migrant, you need to come with Section 17 says you need to come with your visa, and your visa will have your medical insurance to make sure that you will afford your medical bills when needs be. But nobody's talking about that. So we have people misinterpreting the laws of this country to suit their needs at that time, and it shouldn't be a point. I mean, subsection 2 says that we only when there is available resources. But currently, we also as South Africans, we are battling. We don't have enough resources to just cater for ourselves as South Africans. Where will we get other resources to also cater for non-citizens? So, this is just a one big issue, and the president needs to really address this, and it should be a matter of emergency.
Zandile, the fact that you are now marching to the South African Human Rights Commission, and one of the bones of contention is the Human Rights Commission must stop working with illegal foreigners, and also in collaboration with what is termed as unpatriotic NGOs. Now, why is the Human Rights Commission the target?
So, Human Rights Commission is so. Let's first start there. Now, their name is South Africa Human Rights Commission. They're not Foreigners Human Rights Commission. So This means that they are an entity that's supposed to be taking care of the human rights for South Africans. I'm not saying that they should exclude migrants because they are also human, but they cannot prioritize foreign nationals over South Africans because where they get funding, that's the taxpayers' money from the people of South Africa. Now, what we have seen is that cases that are brought forward to them by South Africans, they are not entertained. And I'm going to give you an example. So we had two ladies yesterday that joined our march that actually reported their cases when they were illegally evicted from their homes. Their homes have been hijacked by a Nigerian. Now, Human Rights Commission, together with SAHRC, did nothing about it. We have girls that have been raped in the illegal mining dams, and one in Krugersdorp. We haven't heard them say anything. We buried kids that died from poisonous snacks. We've never heard them saying anything. But now Operation Dudula is going to clinics together with communities because Operation Dudula, we are an organization that is invited by communities in most cases. So we are invited to communities to say that we have a problem. Our clinics are, full of foreign nationals. By the time we get to the clinics, the medication is finished, or we are not even being seen. We are sent back home because, nurses will not be able to see us for the day. Now, when those cases come through, human rights is not there. But now, because we have taken a stand to say that we're going to go to the clinics, we're going to block the clinics and make sure that the laws are actually implemented, because if you're a foreigner, you must have a medical visa. You're not supposed to be using public facilities. Now, when we do that, then that's the only time we will know that Human Rights Commission does actually exist. So they always work in favor of foreigners over South Africans. So that's the reason why we had actually went to them and, put out a few demands that we wanted from them. So we had our march yesterday in KZN and in Gauteng, delivering memorandum to them.
Zandile, I've got a comment that has come through calling, this person calls himself Costa T. And it's just asking the question, which Zionist organization funds Operation Dudula?
So Operation Dudula is self-funded. So what I mean is we don't have anyone that funds us. So all the operations that we do, everything that you see us doing, this comes from our pockets as individuals. Some of us are entrepreneurs, and yes, some of us are just mere citizens who are just employed. We do not have a funder, and we had tried to not go around asking for money, because we also don't want our stance to be changed. Now, we had few people who wanted to help us, but they told us that we need to tone down on the immigration issue, but that's not what we're going to do. We are battling on the ground with our operations. Sometimes we want to go to places we can't because we don't have funds. We can't reach out to more communities than how we would have wanted to, because we don't have funds. And yeah, that's where we are. But Operation Dudula is not funded by anybody.
Yes, in fact, I think what this question means is, there could be something sinister behind Operation Dudula to create the chaos in this country. And this is exactly, I think, my reading into this by the listener raising this issue about a Zionist organization funding Operation Dudula, Zandile.
There shouldn't be this. People, the people that would keep asking us about who is behind Operation Dudula. This means they do not have the best interest at heart for this country, because, all of us can see that we have a crisis. Immigration is a thorn issue and nobody wants to talk about it. And we are the concerned citizens that we call ourselves the vanguard of the country, because if we don't do it, then unfortunately the next generation is going to suffer. So us being funded or not funded shouldn't be, a topic here. The topic should be that Operation Dudula is here to save that little that's left from this country because, well, most of it is gone. There's just so little that we can save, and we are doing just that. There is no agenda or whatsoever, and I must say that we do not hate our brothers and sisters from other countries, but we just hate how they conduct themselves when they are here in this country.
Zandile, just what message are you going to be giving to the Human Rights Commission with your march? What are you going to be telling them?
Well, no, so Human Rights Commission march was yesterday. We've done it. We gave
Oh,
them a couple of demands. We asked them to, have a national inquiry into the impact of illegal migrants. We also asked them to go to communities, go and find out what are the real issues when it comes to the immigration. And we've also, asked for accountability, and they should also be transparent to us. How do they select their cases? Because, like I said before, that they only deal with cases that are for foreigners, and when it's South Africans, then we are blind. And we also spoke about, them going to townships, finding out about what the real issues are. And we've also asked them to stop actually, intimidating us, because every time when we stand up for the people of this country, they are the first ones to stop us. I mean, they've taken us to court. We're still pending judgment. And this means that they are working against the Constitution, and they're actually promoting criminality and illegality in this country. They actually want to cause chaos and want this country to be ungovernable, because that's basically what they're doing.
well, Zandile, thank you very much for that, and also for taking time out with us this morning right here on Silla Media. Please take care. We will follow developments. So, and all the
Thank you.
best to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Zandile Dabula, Operation Dudula leader this morning with us amongst the march that had taken place at the offices of the South African Human Rights Commission. With that, we're going for a break, and when we come back, we're going to be doing Juma Nasiha, and we still have got a lot more to come through. And remember, after 9 a.m., the big discussion with SAHRC and also some of the Hajj operators, the tour operators, regarding the new Saudi rules.